April the 13th, 2020. Guys, it's been pretty tough down here in Mississippi since yesterday afternoon. A lot of things have changed. A lot of landscape has changed. People have lost their lives, and a lot of folks are out of power and could be out of power into late May, possibly even into June, just the destruction. And they've went in and done the helicopter surveys and stuff. And there was 2 tornadoes that were both F5s, as large as you can get. And the first one traveled over 100 miles on the ground with a wide path of destruction. Imagine that. So there's a lot of people out there that may never see this video or one for several days unless they have the cell phones. And they're probably, if they were like me, so sidetracked that they're not paying attention to this. And I understand that. But we've got, between the virus and the natural disasters, I'd like to stay in contact. And one thing I want to say on the positive side here in Mississippi, if any of you guys watched the presidential coronavirus meeting at the White House this afternoon, he kept saying that they had been talking to 48 governors and something would happen in the next few days. Now, our governor here in Mississippi, Tate Reeves, had a news conference earlier, several hours before this, and said that he had talked with Mike Pence today, and we are reopening. I'm not sure. I'm almost positive it won't be a full opening on certain things, but just in the next 7 days, on the 20th. So if he's talking to Pence today on the phone, comes in and announces to the state, I'm pretty sure Trump, and he's in alignment with Trump and Pence. Let me say that. So that's good news for our nation. And just pray for the folks that are affected, that lost their lives and their families, and the folks that lost everything. And the people here in Mississippi will gather together, and we will do what we can to help. And that's a never-ending help that we do here, Southern Hospitality. But it's really a worldwide thing when folks are in trouble. And just let me go back to this video for a moment. We've been covering it. It's from Rudolf A. Hillebrecht from Grosweg, Sternwart, Bad Gaddisham. I think this is Germany, guys. It's in Europe. And these are 2 images that he took of Comet Atlas. And we've been talking about it breaking apart, and it's very obvious in this image. First, he's kind of did some Photoshop not Photoshop, but Photolab on this particular image to where you can see the hot spots, and there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And there's an area in the middle because I'll also have a very good computer when it comes to this stuff, and I'm going to show you those images. But in both of these, you can see a breaking apart of this comet. Now, let me show you what I'm seeing on my computer. And to me, it's quite amazing because I've done this for quite a while. Now, you're seeing in the very front of this a kind of a bulge in the inner comma of this thing. And that bulge always indicates that you've already had a breakup of the comet and there's a leading object in the edge. Usually that would be the core or the heaviest object. And it has the hottest signature. You see that white dot, guys, right there? Then we see behind it a deeper core. It's showing red here, but it's not as hot as the white. But there's still heat indicated in this grouping. But also notice the scatter shot effect, or what I guess a tornado people would call a debris field behind it. And I've trusted this computer for years on the photo processing that I use. And so I'm seeing a massive scattering. Again, your core section that seems to be broken apart, but with one main lead object in this bulge, then scattering through this out into here. And this section right here, this large scatter shot section, is very interesting. Now, I did look at the JPL today, but it has not been updated in 3 or 4 days. So I was seeing if the model trajectory had changed on where it would die between Mercury and the Sun. Again, it hasn't changed since these images have been out. Now, that may be updated. They've only discovered the thing 90 days ago, 91 days. And so the information is still new, and again, I'm hoping they will remodel this to let us know. It's probably so confusing that with so many different objects inside the core of this thing, which reminds me, guys, if any of you Comet heads out there remember the year 2007 and Comet Holmes, look it up, Holmes, and you're going to see a lot of similarity. Holmes brightened to be the brightest object in the inner solar system before it kind of disintegrated, and it was a very interesting disintegration, to put it quite simply. So, but this one's closer. It's over the Earth now, not over Mars, so we're getting these type of shots. How it will change, where it dives through, I don't know, but one thing about these, when you see, we've got a meteor shower coming up this month, in just a few days, within a week, I think 21st here, we're going to peek out. But that's from an ancient comet called Comet Thatcher that did this type of break apart from the G-force, the inertia involved with whipping around the sun and being thrown out to space. But, guys, if you remember the charts when we were tracking ISON, as it was coming over Mars, it was traveling about 1 million miles a day. As it got past Mercury, about to wrap around the sun and totally disintegrate, it was at 11 million miles per day as far as speed. And then you suddenly make a left turn around the sun. That's what happens after these years and eons of traveling through space and going through it. Now, will comets be signs of different things on the planet? They always have been. And we'll look at a couple of other images, but save this. This is, no one else has this image to where you can look into the core of it, so save it. And letting the software in the computer change this slightly, you can see the expansion of this inner field here, guys. Quite a debris field behind this, and that's what happens. This will end up creating a meteor shower that we will see in the years to come, or our grandparents, or our grandchildren, whoever, if anyone's here to see it in their physical body. But you're looking at the beginning of quite a meteor shower, and one of the things we're going to be watching is the JPL models, and will they upgrade the path. Now, the lead object more than likely will stay close to that. It will vary because it no longer has that density and the gravitational pull towards the sun that it normally would have, and you will see a scattering of these. Now, again, it's not diving down over Earth. It's between Mercury and the sun. It's going to be very interesting as it goes through. It's going to dive below the ecliptic, which means if you looked at the inner solar system on level field on May 31st, it's going to dive below that field, and we will. As it comes back out, you'll be getting better and better night images. And just going back to this first image, guys, it's really amazing to see this. And you never know. It goes back to when God was talking to Job after about 46 chapters of listening to all of Job's friends put him down. God came in and said, Job, do you have any idea of what I can do? Do you know the treasuries of the hailstorms and things like what we're seeing now that I have preserved for the day of the battle of the Lord? Job is a very interesting book. But this science of this, guys, is amazing to me. And looking at the different heat signatures in this scatter field is a blessing that people have these tight telescopes. But we're watching it. You watch it, guys. Think of your friends in the South. It happened. I think 11 states were affected from this thing. Now about 18 people have lost their lives, including one deputy just south of us here that was trying to save his wife. And they both met the Lord. So say prayers for those folks and keep us in mind. We're in good shape here, but there's a lot of people that aren't. It's a heads up, guys. Be safe.